Last week I attended my first ever 50-kilometer race. My God! But before I show you how it went, I just wanted to give you a bit of backstory as to how I got to this start line. About a year and a half ago, I really wanted to get into running, but I was really slow. And I mean really slow. Well, at least compared to what I was seeing online anyway. And I thought there must be other people out there like me. So I started sharing my screenshots of my pace online in the hope that I would find other slow runners like me. And since then, I've built up from a 5K to a half marathon to a full marathon, and here I am about to attempt my first 50-kilometer ultramarathon. I'm doing this to show myself and you guys out there, anybody who relates to my running journey, that you don't have to be good at something to give it a go. You just have to enjoy it. And also to clarify that being slow doesn't necessarily mean that you are a bad runner. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, let's start at 5 AM the morning of the ultra. Race morning started how all race mornings seem to start, way too fucking early, and me shoving 2 bagels down my throat at 5 AM. There was a slight sense of dread, but also a glimmer of excitement. I actually managed to get a decent night's sleep. It wasn't long, but I woke up feeling somewhat refreshed, which you may or may not believe, judging by the look of me in these clips. Okay, so now we're at the start line. We've arrived. We had an Airbnb that was like a 10-minute drive, which was just perfect. There was no stress in the morning. And when I arrived at the event, first thing, I felt way less nervous than I did for Brighton Marathon, which I ran earlier this year. It just felt much more chill. We were in the middle of this beautiful forest, which I think kind of helped. And also there was obviously a lot less people than there was at Brighton. Everything just felt a lot more relaxed. And I'm not gonna lie to you here, I went into this thinking that this was gonna be so much easier than the marathon because I'd had a little more experience, I'd been training for a bit longer, I already had the marathon under my belt and that felt really good. And the surroundings were beautiful, so I thought it would take my mind off what I was about to do. My spirits were really high, I felt really capable of smashing my predicted time of around 6.5 hours.
I've made it. With 5 minutes to spare. I need to start queuing up in a second, but I'm feeling alright. Had a panic, forgot my safety pins as per. The route is like 50% trail, 50% normal road. Race nails. But yeah, I'm just waiting to go now. I should probably go and queue up, shouldn't I? Right.
And then we were off. And I was running my first ever ultramarathon. And I am off. I'm literally like 5-6 minutes in, so I've got a long way to go, but obviously don't think about the distance. Gonna break it down into smaller little runs. So for me, I'm gonna focus on getting the first 15k done, and then I'll think about half marathon and then break it down from there. I'm doing a 10-minute warm-up run, and then I'm gonna go into 3 minutes running, 1 minute walking. I had been training for a bit with 4 minutes, but I do fatigue quite quickly on 4 minutes, weirdly, so I just want to enjoy this. So I am gonna take it really easy, especially in the first half, and I think the first half is more uphill and then the last half is downhill. So I'm just focusing on my heart rate for the first 10 minutes. I am above where I should be, but it's like the start of the race excitement. Look at these views, so beautiful. It's just forest. I think it's like this basically like half the way there, and then the final half is a bit more road and stuff like that. So we are off. I'm still waking up, even though I've been awake for almost 3 hours at this point. And I'm wearing lots of layers. I think I'm gonna need to de-layer soon from this jacket, or I can pass it off to Josh at the 8 or so K mark. And I'm just gonna enjoy it now. The people that you see ahead of me were in my wave. And there's like maybe 3 of us. There's a few more people behind me, but I mean, it's no shock that everyone has shut off and little old me is at the back. And I think the next wave will probably overtake me. So anyway, but yeah, that's fine. I'm not going for a target time today, as always. It's just about
finishing it in one piece, and also, ooh, a little stream here, and also enjoying it is the number one goal. So yeah, let's motherfucking go. Guys, the pace that some of these people are coming past at is insane. Like, I'm obviously running slow, but to say that they're probably going to keep this up for 50 kilometers, massive respect. I don't know how they do it. I think these people are superhuman freaks, and we're the normal ones. Okay, we're not the freaks. 4.5k in, I've got my first observation about trail running versus road running. I'm obviously getting overtaken a lot, right? But one person overtook me and she said, "Morning, more people are overtaking me. Everyone's saying hello and good morning. A road marathon would never." I love it. So I passed the first checkpoint, which means I'm now almost, or actually 9.6k in. I feel like I'm just starting to warm up, as in, like, not temperature wise, but it always takes me so long to like start to feel comfortable in these long distance runs. And I think in the marathon it took me to like 15k to 18k. So we're getting there. First race is 15k in my mind. I'm focusing on 15k and that's all I'm thinking about right now.
We enter the real start of the struggle.
13k now. God, guys, there was one point there. I was in a dark place. I don't know why. I think we were going uphill, but it was like so gradual that it looked flat. And I was like, why am I so out of breath? Why is my heart rate so high? But I shut the fuck out. Had some food, I walked. And I'm feeling a bit better. My legs, I'm not gonna lie, are feeling incredibly heavy. But I think that's just all of the training. And I'm hoping that I'm just going to forget about it the further that I run. Yeah.
13, how many k are you in?
13.4.
Yeah.
Done one checkpoint. Next one is at 18k, I think.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Like, it's so different to a marathon, like a road marathon, because there are times, I mean, I've only been running for that long, but
yeah,
there's times when there's no one there.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, but it is nice. Like, it's so pretty. But yeah, my legs are just, I'm just tired. So I'm probably just going to take more walk breaks than what I've got programmed in, and just try and finish it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you. Love you.
I'll see you in the next half.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye.
I'm just about to hit 15k, and you know what that means? That means race 1 is complete. Now, I think mentally I want to be at the half marathon mark, so my next race in my mind is going to be about 6k to the half marathon, and then we'll break it down probably more from there, and I'll just figure out how far I feel like running per mini race. And I swear to God, mentally this really helps, rather than thinking about it as one big distance. We've now moved from forest to field. Oh my God. Oh.
I'm glad I'm not running.
Oh my God, it's shaking so. Okay, just like the second checkpoint, which means we are 18.6k in. I think now I'm going to focus on the halfway mark, so 25k.
And this is when I started to worry, because I eased into it within about 10k in the marathon and I was feeling really good. So the fact that I was feeling really heavy and pretty fatigued this early on. A wake-up call to me, and I kind of realised then, okay, maybe this race isn't going to be as easy and positive as I initially planned for.
How you
So
feeling?
hard.
How you feeling?
Fine. So fucking hard. I'm like, it feels 10 times harder than the marathon.
Really?
My legs are so heavy. I can feel how fatigued my body is. I've decided after this I'm going to have a bit of a break off long distance running, I think, for the rest of the year. Because I think it's just caught up with me, like the marathon. My legs just feel so heavy and they're not getting lighter. So I think I need to have a rest after this. I've just done so much in the last 6 months. I haven't really had a proper rest. So that's what I need to do next, I think. Just chill out a bit. And then just finish this and not worry about how long it takes. Okay, so we're 22k in. Next mini race is to 30k. 8k to go. I'm not gonna lie, I am struggling massively. But I'm just gonna keep breaking it down into smaller runs and see how far we get. Coming up to halfway through. I'm smiling now. I feel like I'm starting to come alive a bit, and I just really hope that this stays for the next 25k. We'll see. That was very short-lived. Oh my god! This window! Still can't put into words like the struggle that I felt from 35k onwards. So many times we're like, right, that's it, I'm just gonna have to pack it all in, like I've come this far, but I physically cannot take another step. At this point I was way behind my predicted time, so that was kind of into my mind. Even though I try not to be like pace focused, sometimes when you're in the pits these things niggle away at you. To be honest, I think if I'd have stopped I would have been proud of what I'd done, like to even get to the point where I was on the start line, all the training that I've put in. I think I would have walked away semi-happy with everything else that I'd done. I don't know if you can hear me, because it's so windy. I'm at 33k. Running for 4 hours and 42 minutes. My next race, because I've been splitting it into races, is either to 40k or to marathon. I haven't decided yet, but there is another final rest stop at 41k, I think. So that might be my next race. And then it's just over 8k from there. So just about getting to the next aid station, and then it's pretty much done. I'm happy to have a little sleep right now.
Yeah. Just had a massage, how was that?
I just had a lovely massage, it was great. Ugh.
Now let's talk us through your nutrition. Like this is obviously pro nutrition.
Yeah, crisps.
Crisps.
Yep. Water.
Necessary. Yeah.
Sweets.
Yeah.
Proteins.
Your element.
I'm not in my element. I can't can't express to you how hard this is.
But then I had these little waves of like self-motivation where I was like, no, I can do this. And it doesn't matter how slowly I get there, even if I have to walk the rest, I will get to that finish line. And I was pretty much set on finishing the race. The closer that I got to the finish line, the less stopping became an option. My headphones had also died. Love that for me. I was running down the promenade, so it was me versus the wind. I was getting beat. I also got to the point where I didn't even want to get my camera out to film because I was just focusing on putting one step in front of the other. And then I saw the 1 kilometer to go sign and I was like, okay, we are doing this. And that in itself just lightened my mood because I could see how close we were to being done. The last couple hundred meters were actually pure sand. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to run through sand before, and I'm not talking about the densely packed wet sand close to the sea, I'm talking about the loose sand, okay? If you've ever had one of those nightmares where you are trying to run as fast as you can, but you're like either not moving or you're moving really slowly, that is what it felt like. It was so cruel, but I was almost there. And finally, I saw the finish line and I was so fucking relieved.
I'm in my last 500 meters. Oh my god.
She's done it!
I have no words right now. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. I'll touch you in a minute.
It's been a minute. I completed my first 50-kilometer ultramarathon in, I'm reading it over here, 7 hours, 26 minutes and 55 seconds. You know what? Time is actually relevant because I fucking did it. I think I'm still coming to terms with the fact that I actually did this now less than a week ago. I don't know, watching all these clips back has made me kind of relive it, but seeing it from a different perspective, I'm almost like an outsider watching it, just made me feel so proud that I was actually able to commit to this training somewhat and actually finish a 50-kilometer ultramarathon, which I would never thought it was something that I would be able to do, to be honest. Overall, to summarise the race, I think it's quite obvious from the video and kind of me retelling the story that I really struggled with this ultramarathon. I struggled a lot more than I thought I would, just because my marathon experience was such a positive one and I felt really capable during the marathon. And that's not to say that this was a completely negative experience, it definitely wasn't. It was just incredibly hard. It's really hard to explain. I feel like if you've done an ultramarathon before or something similar where it's all about the physical side, the mental side plays such a big thing, I think you will understand what I mean. It just feels like it's never ending. The thing has just made me realise that I really want to get fitter and I want to get stronger, and it's really put kind of a fire in my belly and given me a bit of a kick up the arse to see how I can actually my fitness. Maybe one day if I decide to do a 50k again or something above a 50k, that like what's that going to feel like when I'm fitter and stronger and maybe a bit faster. So that's kind of what that has spurred me on to do. I think I did really struggle with it, but I was still able to do it. But I think like I know where my weaknesses are now and I know where I really want to focus on, and that's kind of made me excited and given me somewhat of a direction as to what I want to do next. What's next then? A whole lot of rest is key, okay? I am not going to be running any crazy distances for the rest of this year. My body needs it, I need it. You know, I just need to remember that I am pretty new to this running thing and I really want longevity. I want my body to recover, I want to get fitter without having to take loads of time off because of an injury or I don't know, like just being over fatigued basically. So that is my plan. Doesn't mean that I'm going to stop running completely. I'm going to continue to run. This means that obviously my mileage is going to massively decrease to a level that feels nice for me, where it feels like I'm maintaining my fitness, also still able to recover. My body's taken a beating. alright, over the last 6 months. Still going to be running and creating videos for you guys, just need to figure out what that's going to be. If there's anything in particular that you want to see, if there's any specific challenges, if there's anything outside of running that you want to see, should I do a triathlon? That's also an option. Rushing into anything or committing to anything, so you may see less videos on this channel just while I am recovering and trying to figure out how I can make that also interesting for you guys to watch. So we might go back to 1 video a week rather than 2, just while I'm not in my peak training period right now, so I apologise for that. But if you want to see more of me, don't know why you would, but if you do, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm post on there like 3-ish times a week, and then I'm on stories pretty often, so that's always an option if you need more Emily in your life. Ultimately, I want to show people that fitness and sport and exercise doesn't need to be scary, and we can be a beginner at things and not be very good at them, and that's fine. That's kind of what I want to continue doing with this channel, and that's where I see the direction of this channel. So if you have any ideas, you know. And in the meantime, thank you very, very much for watching this ultramarathon series, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!